The following is a presentation of TFNN. It is now time for The Trader's Edge. Now, Steve Rhodes.
Good morning, all you wonderful money masters and treasure hunters. Welcome to the December 12th. How about that? 12-12-12. The December 12th, wonderful Wednesday edition of today's opening bell on The Trader's Edge. I'm your host, Steve Rhodes, and thanks so much for joining me, folks. I absolutely treasure your presence here today, and my outcome is to help you to become a better money master and to provide you with the tools that each of us need in order to lead an inspired life. Because leading an inspired life, folks, that is what it's all about. So let's go take a look at this tool. I love this tool. I think you'll love it as well. This is called Accelerate Your Learning Curve. Accelerate your learning curve. You know, folks, from birth up until the time that we're about 18 or so, our learning curve is absolutely dramatic. I mean, our capacity to learn is simply staggering out there. We learn at a tremendous and very, very fast rate. We learn language. We learn culture. We learn history. We learn math for sure. We learn science. We learn just about everything, even some things that I'm not going to discuss here on a morning show by the time that we are 18 years old, folks. Now, for some people, and I know that doesn't qualify as you, but you touch other people's lives, and certainly during the holiday times with parties and everything else, maybe folks are looking to you for direction or guidance. And for some people, the accelerated learning process has continued. That's you. But for most, though, and here's the key, for most, it just simply levels off, especially once someone gets their first job. I mean, if there are no more exams to take in life, if there's no demand to get out a piece of paper, to get a pencil out, if there's no more demand for us to read books, why read books? And, of course, we certainly do learn from experience out there. I mean, most of the times we might repeat the same mistake twice, maybe three times, but we certainly will learn from experience. Sometimes it's doing it right. Sometimes it is doing it wrong. Imagine, though, what would happen if we kept up that same accelerated learning curve all the rest of our lives. You certainly have children out there. You tell them, even though they might think they know everything by the time they're 18, sometimes it's 14 out there, what have you. But we know that there is so much more to learn. Can you imagine what we could learn, the skills that we could develop, the capacities that we could have if we maintained that similar accelerated learning curve? It can be done, folks, and here's what I'm asking you to do. I'm asking you to be that unusual person, if you aren't already, who keeps up his or her learning curve and develop an appetite for always trying to find good ideas. I'm asking you to feed your mind just as much as you feed your body out there. Feed it with great ideas, extraordinary ideas, wherever they can be found. I think you can find them, and I know that's one of the reasons that you turn in here to TFNN.com, because there's always great ideas. We got 9 hours of great ideas out here. You also have great ideas, and we encourage you to call in and share those ideas with us, always at 877-927-6648. Always be on the lookout, folks, for a good idea. Maybe a business idea. Maybe it's just simply a product idea out there. Maybe it's a service idea, an idea just simply for personal improvement. Every new idea, folks, what it does is it refines our philosophy. And our philosophy, it guides our life. And our life, folks, it unfolds with extraordinary outcomes out there. Make sure, folks, and this is important, keep up that accelerated learning curve. Let's go take a look at the learning curve in the markets out here. We got the Dow futures. Futures are up about 15 points right now, 16 points, trading out at 13,294. The ES Mini trading out at 1434 right now. The NASDAQ futures, the NQ up 9.75. That's really leading the charge on the way up. That must mean that Apple is popping this morning. When we left the air yesterday at 11 o'clock, what I said was, look, and we're going to go back and take a look at the NASDAQ futures. I think we looked at a couple of different futures contracts out here. So at 11 o'clock, you had the NASDAQ had gotten up to a high of 2690.75. Did I say that? 26.920. I gotta wipe these glasses off here. Is that right? Let me see here. NASDAQ futures. Where's the NASDAQ futures out here? Where is it? 26. Yeah, okay. So I am right. Sorry about that. 26.90.75. You're trading at 26.95. Now, what I said, just simply because we had gotten to, or the market, the 30-minute contract had gotten into that extreme overbought condition, that the market would do what? It would have to work that off either by moving sideways or pulling back. We can see it move just a tad higher into the 11:30 session. Of course, as it was doing that, it was making a 2.618 expansion of a swing point, that being the swing point from 11:30 at the December 10th level, down to the low of 3 o'clock in the afternoon on December the 10th, also making a 1.272 expansion of a set of swing points here at 3:30 in the morning from December the 5th out there, all the way down to the lows that were put in at about 10 a.m. on December 6th. So you had at least two, actually there was probably more than that, you had at least two Fibonacci expansion numbers coming together at the same point in time when the market was getting into a overbought condition, and it has worked its way off. You can see here traveling back up towards the top of the range, and you can see even on an intraday basis here a 2.618 expansion out there. That is on the NASDAQ futures. Let's go take a look at what's going on the daily charts, because I know everybody wants to know what's happening. Let's start off with the S&P futures. The ES Mini trade out at 1434. Right now, trading above the area that it rejected. Finally, your close really on it yesterday. That area being the highs from November 7th, the highs from November 2nd out there, making a 100% move of a move. You've got the 0.786 level just a little bit higher. When I say 0.786 retracement level, folks, I'm talking about the highs that were put in on September 14th, all the way down to lows put in on November the 16th out there. The S&P futures want to go up and tag that area. That number is 1440, trading at 1434.25 right now. Also on the daily chart, really making a move up into that overbought area. Has not made it all the way up there, but beware, folks, as it gets up there, because when it does, doesn't mean it can't go higher. It means you need to start having some nimble fingers out there. It means you want to make sure that you are adjusting your stops if you are long in whichever chart it is you're looking at that has a similar pattern out there. That's on the S&P futures. Let's go take a look at the NASDAQ futures. Since we were taking a look at the NASDAQ here just a little while ago, we can see also yesterday making a 100% move of really the most recent swing point, which in the NASDAQ was the December 3rd area. You can see the NASDAQ here probably going to give us the biggest clue today. The NASDAQ making up against a horizontal resistance level that takes it back to October 23rd, October 22nd. The area was tested on November 2nd, was certainly tested on December 3rd, and again tested yesterday. Traveling up above it right now, just slightly above it out at the 2696 level, but it's really going to be about the close. Intraday, where is it that the NASDAQ futures want to head to? They certainly want to try to get back up into that trend line that goes all the way back to October 4th out there, or August 10th in the case of the NASDAQ. So August 10th, we take it back even a little bit further than we do the other futures or indexes out there. So a really long-term trend line, that would take it to the 0.618 retracement level. That would be in the 2726 range. That would be normal out there. If the NASDAQ can't get up there and the market does decide to reverse, you've got to say, something to think about. Of course, we know it's all about Apple. Not all about Apple, but Apple certainly with about a 17% weighting structure inside the NDX 100 having a big impact on the Qs. I think it's probably about 11% or so, 12% out there. Let's go take a look at the other futures contracts. Let's look at the Russell 2000. What is the Russell doing? The Russell, you can see we take the trend line here back into the October 4th level. Can't take it back to the August 9th level like we could on the NASDAQ, because it just simply wouldn't be a trend that was out there. The Russell 2000 made a lower low coming into the October 4th time frame. Not that the NASDAQ didn't, but the NASDAQ had made a lower low in the August time frame as well out there. Something to think about. Now, if we take a look at that trend line here, you've got the Russell 2000 yesterday tagging that area, maybe closing just slightly above it, also closing above a horizontal resistance area that had been traveling sideways for 5-6 trading sessions, breaking it with conviction from the standpoint of a wide price bar. And what that's doing, it's going into the next set of swing points, the next horizontal resistance area. This resistance area it's not a tested area of resistance. Certainly we had a tested area of resistance as the Russell 2000 was traveling in about the $827 level. Now the Russell 2000 wants to probably tag the highs of October 17th. If we take a look at retracements off of the actual high from September 14th down to the low, we'll see what we also have up in that area is a 0.786 retracement level. So 843 or so is the range. 841, 842, 843, any number like that is likely where the Russell 2000 wants to head to. Let's finish this off. let's put the icing on the cake out here, and we'll take a look at the Dow. What is the Dow doing? The Dow here also now testing, and it rejected just slightly yesterday the trend line that goes all the way back to that same October level, the same October 4th low, the same tag point, which is the June 4th low out there. And what we can see here this morning, the Dow futures getting up into that area, not getting over it. And so the Dow here, Dow futures, is going to be providing us with important information. If we take a look at the retracement from the high to the low, what we will see is 0.786. Looks like 13,350. Looks like the Dow futures want to just tag that area and probably get back below the trend line. 877-927-6648. We'll be right back.
What type of investor are you? Conservative, moderate, or aggressive? No matter your investor personality, your overall portfolio should reflect your financial goals, time horizon, and your risk tolerance. Help ensure your portfolio is appropriately invested with an asset allocation plan from Morgan Stanley Wealth Management. Simply picking the right stocks is not enough. Research has shown that choosing the right proportions of stocks, bonds, and cash is essential to the success of your long-term investments. Morgan Stanley believes a carefully selected portfolio can lower volatility and increase investment return potential. Find out about what an asset allocation and a Morgan Stanley Wealth Management financial advisor can do for you. Call Angela O'Brien, First Vice President and Financial Planner of the Clearwater, Florida branch at 727-441-6108 today to discuss your personal financial needs. Asset allocation does not assure a profit or protect against loss in declining financial markets. Investments and services are offered through Morgan Stanley Wealth Management, LLC. Member SIPC.
With the launch of TigerTV, TFNN has brought our programming to the next level. With TigerTV, you can gain access to each host's charts and computer screens as they host their daily stock program. Whether it's Tom O'Brien, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Ken Shreve, David White, Larry Pesavento, Victor Jones, or Terrell Martin, you can catch all of our technicians hosting their programs live and archived on TigerTV for your viewing pleasure 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you haven't checked out TigerTV, then visit TFNN.com and see what you're missing.
Happy holidays from TFNN. Our most rewarding Tiger Dollar sale is back this December at TFNN. Normally we offer only a 10 to 20% bonus on Tiger Dollar purchases, but through December 19th only, when you purchase Tiger Dollars to spend on any of our products, you get a 25% bonus on your purchase, and up to 10% of whatever you spend will be donated to the Salvation Army in your name. You'll receive a personalized thank you letter directly from our local Clearwater Salvation Army administrator in appreciation of your donation. Tiger Dollars can be used on any of our newsletters or subscriptions, never expire, and are fully transferable. Take advantage of our most rewarding Tiger Dollar sale of the year right now. Visit TFNN.com for all the details and to make your purchase today. Happy holidays from TFNN.
Are you looking for a precision edge in the market? Something that can stack the odds in your favor? Then look into Larry Pesavento's new trading newsletter, Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind. In each weekly issue, Larry explains what's going to happen in the markets based on the pattern he sees developing and gives you actionable trade ideas based on those patterns. Plus, you'll get his detailed analysis on a variety of markets and sectors, including stocks, treasury bonds, the gold market, oil, the dollar, the forex market, and more. And you'll get the Technical Corner segment, which is a short but powerful weekly training session on trading. You'll get access to all the patterns Larry is seeing in the markets, plus the Astro Harmonics and powerful Bradley stock market model that Larry utilizes for less than $5 a day. An extremely potent combination that will give you just the edge you've been looking for. Try Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind absolutely free for 2 weeks. Go to TFNN.com and click on the free trial link at the top of the page. That's an $85 value, yours free when you register right now. Get Larry's Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind and get the edge you've been looking for.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen live during those shows, and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. This segment is brought to you by BackTech Environmental. For more information, just click the BackTech banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Welcome back, folks, and sign, everywhere is sign. Folks, there are patterns that are completing all over the place here as we come back to the trading hour. We got King Dollar down 10 ticks right now, trading out at 79.94. Gold up $7 out at 17.17. Silver up 27 cents out at 33.30. You've got light sweet crude up $1.35 out at $87.13 out there. Along the overseas last night, we have the last night over in Asia, you had the Hang Seng. Hang Seng was up 179 points, up 0.8% out there. The Shanghai up 8 points. The Nikkei up 56 points, up a little over 0.5%. Over right now across the pond in Germany, the DAX is up 24 points. The FTSE up 15 as well. As we come back, we're going to take a look at the 30-year Treasury bond out here. Now, the 30-year Treasury, I've got the continuous contract up on my screen here, and you can see that the back is up against the wall of a longer-term trend line out here. This bottom trend line coming back into the, I'm just taking the swing point from March 19th out there, the low 135.05. Your next touch point on that trend line is going to be the lows of September 14th. Of course, our market was making highs September 14th. We're not up at those levels. Now take a look at that trend line. You can see that trend line has held. The 30-year Treasury making a 1-to-1 A to B equals CD. The price projection on that, 148.27. The 30-year Treasury trading out right now at 148.28. How does that work? Folks, it makes a 1-to-1 A to B equals CD. Quite frankly, it comes right back into the trend line. What are the chances of this trend line holding out there? Back is up against the wall. We do have Uncle Ben out today. I believe at 2:15 is when he starts taking questions. I don't recall if his minutes are released at 12 noon or 2 o'clock, but it's going to be sometime today. We will see some movement in bonds, I suspect, out here. Looks to me like the patterns have completed and might be worth taking a trade to the long side. The bulls have not shown up yet, but the patterns have completed out there on the 30-year continuous contract. Let's go overseas and see what it is that we have going on across the pond. We're going to start off here with the Nikkei. Now, the Nikkei, as I said, up 56 points last night, in jeopardy here of going ahead and blowing through the Gartley cell and the butterfly cell area. That was a 618 Gartley cell and a 1.272 butterfly cell pattern. Let me get rid of one thing out here on this chart. Let's just get rid of these Fibonacci levels altogether, because we can always add those back in. Let's take a look at if this area fails, where the Nikkei will travel to, and that's going to be the 0.786 retracement of that entire move down. That is from the highs of March 28, 2012, down to the low of June 4th, 2012. We can see really it's kind of about ready here to give it up. It's certainly trading above the 0.618 level. It's still within the range. However, it looks like the Nikkei, if it can bust through this area, say one more up day, and you'll see the Nikkei up around 98.10-ish or so. That would be the 0.786 level. That's on the Nikkei. If we go take a look at the DAX, let's go see what the DAX is doing. Yesterday here on this show, or maybe it was the 11 o'clock show, 10 to 11 o'clock show, we were taking a look at expansions of swing points. Now, if we take a look at the expansion of the swing point, the most recent set of swing points on the DAX, we'd be taking a look at September 21st, that high, 74.7853, all the way down to the low that was put on November 2nd, November the 16th. The 1.272, the number, Johnny on the spot, 76.22.15. The DAX getting up to 76.2640. Trade out at 76.1054. The work to the upside on the DAX may be over. If it breaks through this area, the DAX will travel up to that 1.618 level. That would be 78.0483. But you do have a pattern completing in the DAX. We do have a pattern completing in the 30-year Treasury. We went through the daily futures contracts, and we've got patterns that have either completed or are about to complete. And we're coming into New Moon Thursday out there, other aspects going on in the skies, but that's probably one of the ones that is most important out there. Let's go take a look at gold, see what Goldilocks is doing, still being in check, held in check here by the 20 and the 50-day exponential moving average out there. When we come back, we'll see how these markets are going to open. We'll also go take a look at the currency markets and anything else that you'd like. Our call-in number, as always, is 877-927-6648. We can see here that the 30-minute chart on the euro, I'll get it out, don't worry about it. It actually is making a Gartley sell pattern. Something to think about. 877-927-6648. We'll be right back.
Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors. You've heard Tom O'Brien on the air, and you've seen him on Tiger TV, as well as being featured as a regular CNBC guest and contributor, and now you can have access to his expert trading advice each morning through his daily trading newsletter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, gives traders, investors, and money managers a thorough strategy for trading stocks, options, and indices every market day. Market Insights comes out each market day before 9:30 a.m. and provides traders with Tom's daily commentary, opinion, and specific trade recommendations on the markets. Using advanced Fibonacci methods, volume indicators, Gartley patterns, candlestick charting, gaps, and market timing, Market Insights will give you specific trade recommendations including entry, stop, and exit prices. The summer is over and traders are back. Get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. If you're an investor looking for a great weekly investment newsletter, then now is the perfect time to try out Ken Shreve's Ultimate Growth Stocks. Every Tuesday, Ken breaks down multiple sectors in his weekly newsletter, Ultimate Growth Stocks, with a full in-depth report including specific trading recommendations within his model portfolio, charts, sector analysis, upcoming economic data, along with intra-week trading updates on newsletter positions whenever the market dictates. Right now, you can receive a full month, that's 30 days, to evaluate Ken's newsletter free of charge to see if it fits your trading plan. At less than $75 per month, Ken provides you with his expert trading advice that can pay for itself in no time. Take advantage of this great offer by signing up for a 30-day free trial to Ken Shreve's Ultimate Growth Stocks today. Don't let this offer pass you by. Visit the front page of TFNN.com and sign up now. Daryl Martin coined the phrase diagnostic trading, and we're happy to announce that his diagnostic box spread analyzer has finally been released. The Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer helps you easily identify the best box spreads on Nadex in seconds, plus you receive access to the diagnostic deviation levels, as well as step-by-step training videos teaching you how to trade Nadex spreads so you can quickly master the mechanics of this simple yet powerful trading instrument. By pulling live data from the Nadex exchange, the Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer does all the math for you, calculating risk, reward potential, distance to break even for both outright spreads and spreads used to hedge the underlying market. Visit the front page of TFNN.com today to get your 2-week free trial to Daryl Martin's Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer and gain access to the valuable information it can provide when trading the Nadex box spreads.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And we're off to the races. We got the Dow up 41 points right now. S&P up 4, Composite up 8. Small caps up about 2, 1.6 to be exact here. Small caps struggling here this morning. Microsoft up 18 ticks. Intel up 31. Google up $1.66. Cisco down 3 pennies. Apple up $4 and change. Leading the charge to the upside, YM Bioscience. Well, it says it's up 78%. Of course, it was a stock trading at $2.90 yesterday, so we won't pay too much attention to YM Bioscience. You do have, let's see here, you've got White Horse Financial, WHF. They're up 24 cents. Not a lot here popping to the upside. I'm looking at new yearly highs out there. That's how I came up with it. Let me change this to point gainers out there. No wonder that wasn't looking right here. Percentage gainers. No, I wanted point gainers. Sorry about that. I was messing around yesterday after the show and forgot to go back and reset my settings. So it's Apple leading the charge to the upside, up $3.74. Dolby Laboratories up $2 and change. That's up 6%. You've got Coinstar, CSTR up about $2, 3.5%. Joy Global, JOY up $3. You do have Apache Corp up $1.30. Hess Corp up $1.21. DuPont up $1. And to the downside here, lead the charge, you've got Cobalt International Energy. CIE is a ticker symbol. They're off 10%. We'll take a look at that stock chart. Walmart down $1.35 this morning. Teva Pharmaceuticals off 3%. Under Armour UA down 93 cents. FedEx off 78. Seagate off 79 cents. Not a lot popping to the downside. So if we take a look at Apple, we'll just simply start with Apple. That's the leader in the clubhouse, up $3.86 right now. You can see intraday gapping up, not gapping up, so-called on the daily chart out here. Now, if you take a look at yesterday's action inside Apple out here, really kind of towards the end of the session, if we just took a look at yesterday's candle, the bulls weren't so enthused. It did gap up. But when I say gap up, it didn't. There was not a daily gap on an intraday chart. There most certainly was. You had Apple get above the highs from Monday, December the 10th out there. But when you take a look at the actual session here during the days, the bulls here not totally enthused just yet in Apple and taking huge positions out there just simply by taking a look at the wick of that candle out here. You can see here this morning the bears seeming to, even though you did get this gap up, selling off to a certain extent right now. I say selling off, really just selling lower. That is on Apple. Let's go take a look at Cobalt International. CIE is the ticker symbol, and see what this is doing, down $2.79, moving into its last sign of strength out here, creating an island reversal, a big island reversal here. Let's refresh the screen, make sure I've got all of the live data. It appears that I do. So this equity, be interesting to watch where this one trades here today. Certainly we'll look at it tomorrow to see if it does create this island out here. By an island reversal, what I'm referring to is if you take a look at December 4th, the high December 4th, $23.92. Does 1.3 million shares. The very next day, wide price spread, accelerated volume, gaps up, has it all to 7 million shares to the upside. That is a sign of strength, no doubt. Now, if we take a look at then what it does on the following trading session, about 4 million shares, so not too bad from an energy standpoint as it makes a high on the 6th of December. pulls back over the course of the next 3 trading sessions, yesterday, Monday, and Friday out here. No real big volume today, though, gapping down, and it did not make it all the way back to the breakout. The breakout would be anywhere from 23.38 to 23.92. Has not broken to that area. If this does not trade up to 25.57, this here, folks, will be a huge island out here with a lot of folks on that island stranded. Now, it's not at all-time highs or anything along those lines, and the way that this thing has a couple of signs of strength out here looks to me like, it should trade back up there. So it's not really a short candidate, so to speak here, but it will be interesting to watch. Island reversals, folks, they are significant, no doubt. Very, very significant. They are to be paid attention to. You want to see them form at the bottoms if you're bullish. You want to see them form at the tops if you are bearish out there. It's one of the reasons why I'm actually paying attention to a stock such as this one, which is the one that got all of the hype during Hurricane Sandy out here. Where is it on my screen? It's probably right in front of me. I'm just not paying attention to it. Generac, I apologize. So if we take a look at Generac here, this one, is, and the reason why I say it has that potential to set up an island, well, take a look at some of the volume bars, out here, really 2 volume bars to the downside that is suggesting a possibility of a really huge island reversal. Here's one where you're up at the highs. So this is pretty significant. Now, because of the hurricane and so forth, on October 31st, you had Generac gap up 5 million shares out there. So certainly a sign of strength, big sign of strength out there. You then have volume at the highs from November the 5th out here, 5.2 million shares as it makes a high of $39.18. So that has to us, the high hasn't been tested, the low of the high has been tested, but certainly not the high. The first real sign of weakness here came on November 26th, 3.7 million shares to the downside. Somebody was getting out of this equity. The same thing on November 29th, 4 million shares to the downside. So this thing could be setting up didn't say that it is, but could be setting up one huge island reversal out there. That's why I keep leaving it on my charts, my show charts out here. Just simply, we might be able to use this as a example. If we want another example of an island, just as long as we're talking about islands, let's go take a look at Mosaic. MOS is the ticker symbol. This happens to be one of the equities inside my newsletter. We took a long position in this a little while back here. We took some of our trade off of the table yesterday, but here is the island reversal formation at the bottom. So now you're taking a look at a bullish island reversal. This is really what you want to see on any charts that you trade. You want to be paying attention to it when you can find these out here. November 14th, the equity had gapped down the evening before. On November 13th, the low out there was $50.56. Gaps down the next day with volume, 10 million shares. That's a little bit of a dangerous sign. Says that the equity will get back there at some point in time. Next trading session, sideways move. The following trading session on the 16th, also a sideways move. And then, ba-boom, gaps up on November 19th. Doesn't gap up with volume, though, but it does gap up. The low there was 49.98. The session before on the 16th, the high was 49.66 out there. That created your island. That, folks, is a bullish signal. Coming off of a oversold condition here, which it did when it moved down and it gapped down on November 14th. All those are bullish signs. You need to be cautious. Your stop, certainly your risk, is knowing that this equity could trade back and will trade back at some point in time into the 49.62, 48.29. At some point in time, the passengers there will go out and get stranded. Why did they take some of the money off the table yesterday? Well, number one, relative strength was getting up towards its high. Had a nice day yesterday, most certainly. At volume, expand on this, 4.3 million shares. However, what was 4.3 million shares going into? Well, this is what it was going into, folks. Going into a supply line. So as we take a look at that supply line here, let's take a look at it. The level on that supply line is all the way up here. I draw this, which is this candle right here on the October the 2nd, 9 million shares out there. So 10 million shares coming into it yesterday with 4.3 million shares. It is going to need some more juice out here, gapping up here this morning. So not a pretty nice sign as well, but one to certainly be cautious of because of that supply line that is out there. But there is your island reversal candle formation. If you're listening on the radio, maybe on tfnn.mobi, just go to the TigerTV button and hit the archives. You can listen to the show. It is on Channel 9 out there. Speaking of being over at the homepage of tfnn.com, this is Christmas time. This is a great time for you to actually save if you use any of the TFNN services, subscriptions out there. Or if you're just considering, maybe you were saying, you know what, Steve, I want to accelerate my learning curve out there. And so make an investment in yourself. Take advantage of the Tiger Dollar promotion that we have out there. 25% bonus. Well, really, we got a bonus on top of a bonus. The first bonus is a $25 bonus. We'll give you 25% more than what it is that you sign up for in the Tiger Dollar promotion. The second bonus is either a 5 or 10% contribution to the Salvation Army. $1,000 or less in Tiger Dollars, a 5% contribution. Over that, it is a 10% contribution. You'll get a letter to you. It's totally tax deductible, and there's no better way, folks, than to accelerate your learning curve, than to invest in yourself, invest in some of the services, whether it's my newsletter service, Mastering Probability, which is a total educational newsletter as well. It has about 40 to 50 pages a day inside it with all kinds of charts, all kinds of educational information. I do summarize everything for you in usually a page or so you don't have to read everything out there. You can test that out for 30 days, unconditional money-back guarantee. Maybe it's a Chapman Wave that you want. That also under breaking news out there with Basil giving a 50% off on his CD, the Chapman Wave, and including a month of newsletter subscription out there. So all kinds of ways for you to accelerate your learning curve here at TFNN.com. Let's go take a look at some of these. Let's go look inside the S&P. Let's look at the sectors inside the S&P here. We'll start off taking a look in the spiders. We'll look at the XLE. We'll look at the energy sector inside there, see what it is doing. Coming into a swing point here from November 6th. That swing point has got 10 million shares. Yesterday, tagging it, rejecting it with 7.8 million shares. Didn't have enough energy yesterday. Look to watch this. If this closes back below 71.92, you will get two rejections of a swing point on potentially on lighter volume. It certainly had that yesterday. Right now it's trading inside that at 72.19. Your number, write it down on a pad of paper, is 71.92. That's what you want to watch. If you get a close back below that area, that would be a rejection on price, perhaps volume. You have to check in at the end of the day. That still is a resistance area as long as it closes below 71.92 out there. That resistance being set up by the small gap that you have from November the 6th to the November 7th area. I think it was about a 7-penny gap out there. A gap is a gap, and you want to be paying attention to them. We can also see here yesterday that what also held the XLE in check was that descending tops trend line. This morning, gapping up over it. Of course, we knew that the market was going to move up here this morning, so watch to see where the energy sector closes. If it can close back below that area, now you've got a rejection twice, 2 days in a row of two different resistance levels. Now, the resistance level that's most important is horizontal resistance out there. Let's go take a look at the next sector. Let's look at the financial sectors. We got 9 sectors that make up the S&P 500 out here. It's technology, it's financials, and it is the energy that make up the bulk of it. The financial sectors we were talking about yesterday, having an A to B equals CD pattern out there that would complete at 1622, trading at 1616 right now. So it is on its way up there. It's also going to be running into a resistance area. Now, the volume that it's really taking on is the November 7th downdraft area, 116 million shares. That was to the downside as it got up over that level. It's done it on 47 million shares yesterday. And today so far, 6 million shares. Not too bad, considering we only have 17 minutes of trading out here. So volume is pretty darn good in the XLF. Now, what I expect here is that we will see the XLF get up and tag 1620, 1622. Perhaps it's going to make more than a 1-to-1 A to B equals CD, but that is where the XLF is headed to. Let's go take a look at the technology sector out here, the XLK. The XLK struggling, of course, because of the weighting of Apple inside it. The XLK going after the swing point, the gap down level from November 6th. That swing point has 6 million shares. Yesterday it closed up inside there. It did it with 9 million shares, so it did have some energy coming into that level. Look for your next test here to be the high of 29.45. Trading out at 29.33 right now, only getting to a high intraday so far of 29.39. Just 6 more pennies to get up there and tag that level, that swing point, and that's what I suspect that the XLK will do out here. We can see the weakness inside the XLK just simply by taking a look at the retracements off of the high. That's September 19th, all the way down to the low put in on November 16th. You can see not even close yet to the 0.618 level. That would be $30 and a penny out there. So taking a look at those 3 sectors, we take a look at the majority of it. You've got the, what's the materials sector out here? I think it's the XLB. Is that right? XLB. Let me see here. I'm pretty sure that it is. So let's go with it at this stage. I can look it up here in a moment. And so as we take a look at what I believe to be the energy sector, let's do this here. XLB. Just to make sure. That is the materials sector inside the financials. Inside the S&P, we can see the materials sector. Let me just refresh my screen. Make sure we've got all of the data. Materials sector coming into the downdraft candle, that high, December 3rd, $36.93. $36.71 is what it's trading at right now. $36.81 is the high intraday. It does not have the volume to break that resistance area. It's coming into 18 million shares in the downdraft. Yesterday up with 5 million shares. This morning so far, 554,000 shares. Dow is up 38 points. S&P's up 4. We'll be right back.
You take a hands-on approach to managing your investments, and whether you're bullish or bearish on Chinese stocks, the ETFs from Direction Shares are there to help you magnify your perspective. Bull ETFs for a rising market and bear ETFs for a falling market. Direction Shares gives you the tools for both sides of the trade. Discover how we can help at DirectionShares.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction Shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction Shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction Shares at 800-851-0511. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors employing dynamic strategies. Investors in the fund should understand the consequences of seeking daily investment results, understand the risk of shorting, and intend to actively monitor and manage their investments. Distributor Foresight Fund Services, LLC. David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
Recently, Basil Chapman has had some outstanding trades in his newsletter, The Opening Call. Each morning by 9 a.m., Basil uploads his newsletter to the TFNN servers so that his subscribers can access his expert trading advice. Basil gives his take on the direction of key indices and updates any active trades that his subscribers are currently in. Just recently, Basil subscribers closed out a short position in Chipotle Mexican Grill, CMG, for more than an $86 profit per share, over a 20% gain in just one position. If you'd like to try out Basil Chapman's newsletter, The Opening Call, Then visit the front page at TFNN.com and click Trading Newsletters. There you'll find Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, where you can request a free sample copy. Also, don't miss Basil's program, The Tiger Technicians Hour, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern, on TFNN.
In just December of last year, the price of gold was down over 10%. In today's highly volatile gold market, you need someone in your corner that understands the complex relationships that exist within the price of gold, as well as within a variety of gold equities. Whether it's the South African gold miners and knowing how the Rand-dollar relationship will affect their bottom line, or understanding how John Paulson's $5 billion trade in the GLD can move the market, Tom O'Brien gives you the direction you need to become a better trader each week in his newsletter, The Gold Report. With over 20 individual equities covered and almost another 20 on the potential watch list each week, in addition to covering the XAU, HUI, GLD, and dollar, The Gold Report is a great source for any trader that is looking to be diversified in today's volatile gold market. For your 30-day free trial to Tom O'Brien's Gold Report, log on to TFNN.com today. Don't miss out on this great offer. Act now.
Catch Tom O'Brien and Steve Rhodes as they teach you the art of mastering money when it comes to trading and investing. The Money Masters, next on TFNN.
Welcome back, folks. As we come back, the Dow is up 35 points right now. S&P's up 4. Small cap struggling up 70 cents right now. Apple's up a penny. And let's take a look at the currency marketplace. I've got the 30-minute chart for the euro on my screen here. I mentioned to you, Ian, maybe going into the first break, that the euro was making a 0.618 Gartley sell pattern. It did that this morning here, coming into about the 7 o'clock time frame out here. That is the light blue pattern that you see here on my screen. A Gartley sell pattern. Number one, I said 0.618. That means we're taking a look at the swing point high on the 30-minute chart from 3:30 in the morning on December 5th all the way down to the low that was put in at 9:30 on December the 7th out there. So we go from high to low. The 0.618 retracement level is in essence somewhere right around the, we're going to call it 130,296. How about we just call it 133 just to make it 130,300 out there just to make it even Steven. So that is your area. That's your 0.618 retracement level. You can see as it was making that retracement, it was also getting into a overbought condition out here on the intraday chart. That's important to be paying attention to. Now we're starting to see the euro reverse just a bit. Nothing significant just yet out here, but that 0.618 Gartley pattern is in place. If the euro decides to reject this area and move higher, the next sell pattern on this would be a 0.786 Gartley sell pattern. That would take you up to about the 1.307 level. At the 1.30625, you've got a 2.618 expansion of the swing point from 11:30 in the morning. That comes in at December the 7th. That's the high out there at 1.29508, down to the low swing point at 3 in the morning on December the 10th out there. Out at the 1.28847. That would be where it would head to next. However, we are starting to see the euro pull back here as we take a look at the king. Let's see what's the king doing. It's only down 8 ticks. Let's go take a look at the U.S. dollar index out here. As we take a look at the U.S. dollar index, we can see here that it originally had pulled back into the December 5th time frame where it made a 0.786 retracement, also really about a 1.272 expansion of a set of swing points. Then the U.S. dollar index moved higher. The markets did not move lower out there, but the U.S. dollar index most certainly moved higher off of that low of December 5th all the way up to a high of $80.97 on December 7th. This morning, what the U.S. dollar index has done is pulled back to the 0.786 level. 79, looks like 79.87 is the exact number. 79.86 is what the U.S. dollar index hit this morning. Patterns, folks, I'm telling you, they are completing all over the place out here. So I say this is just a time to most certainly be careful. Let's go take a look at natural gas, see what nat gas is doing. Nat gas looks like this is going to give us a beautiful sell out here. I mean, a beautiful buy. It looks like now, let's see if there's an A to B equals CD pattern that may be setting up here. That A point where you would, you could use, let's just use the one right off of here. There's two of them out there you could use, but let's use the November 28th high out at 3.89, right at the top of the channel line, the rising price channel line, and a 1 to 1.272. You're almost completing a 1-to-1 A to B equals CD today. That gets you into $3.36. So our eyes are going to have to be open. However, a 1 to 1.272 gets you to 325.6 or so. What it really does is it gets you back to the bottom of that rising price channel. And if we take a look at the retracement of the B to C leg, let's go see what that was. That was an exact 0.618 retracement. So it's possible that natural gas could be making a little bit of a low here. Folks, thanks so much for being here. Remember this, folks. You've got an amazing power within yourself, so powerful that you can do anything. Have a great Wednesday, folks. Look forward to seeing you in a few or tomorrow morning. Bye-bye now.
Let me tell you something, folks. I have people coming up to me saying, I just can't believe the amount of work that Steve does on his newsletter. And I says, I absolutely agree.
That is a recent clip from the Money Masters show that Tom and I do each day at TFNN. My newsletter service, Mastering Probability, is much, much more than a newsletter. Yes, it's outperformed the S&P 500 by 100% during the last 15 months. But more importantly, it's an extraordinary education, a roadmap for your success. And it's yours risk-free for the next 30 days. Just go to the homepage of TFNN.com and click on my name, Steve Rhodes, and then Mastering Probability, because everyone needs a success strategy. For most, it's a competitive edge, the will to win, the drive to overcome any obstacle. Whatever you call it, winners find a way. Find your way to Mastering Probability today, because your journey to extraordinary rewards is just one click away.